we're going to begin as we end our pile-on, unless some other egregious statement is uttered by Timothée, or, you know, something occurs which cannot escape our notice. We're going to leave him alone until the Oscars, okay? That's the deal. Timothée, can you keep your mouth shut? Can you stop flouncing around like a theater kid on steroids for a hot minute? Now, before we get into Marty Supreme, we have got to cover a little bit. So, and we're doing this to show basically how this machinery works. The industry, for a time, clearly wanted Timothée to win the Best Actor Oscar for Marty Supreme. It's part of the business. It's how they anoint the next generation, the next actor who can potentially still be a draw at a dying box office. So in come the big guns. Now, again, I don't see any of this going on really for Ethan Hawke. And we all know the nerves feelings here at regarding the Oscars and the Best Actor category. It should be Ethan Hawke's to lose. A career-defining performance in Blue Moon, a body of work that really just surpasses most of his peers, a collaboration with Richard Linklater, which is one for the ages, but goes all too undervalued in the culture. We'll get to it at another time. We really will. But for now, Matthew McConaughey did a town hall with Timothée on CNN. And, again, these media, the network, legacy news wonders why it's dying. People are not tuning in to see the likes of all right, having an intellectual tete-a-tete with Mr. Top Level shit. Okay? And the ratings can attest to that, because this town hall, which aired on Saturday, February 21st, 2026 in prime time, tanked in the ratings. Okay? It only drew 435,000 linear viewers. And we don't even know if that means a view is counted for like 30 seconds or a minute. So on to this meeting of the minds. Timothée is going to talk to McConaughey. I don't understand how this is what passes for a hazing or a practical joke in Hollywood. George Clooney is guilty of a very similar prank, and I've got theories about this kind of stuff. But they worked together on Interstellar, great film, directed by Christopher Nolan, who we're going to get to in a moment. Matthew McConaughey was the star. Timmy was a teenager on the come up. And this is Timothée and Matthew reminiscing about a little prank Matthew pulled on Timmy. If you are eating something, I would suggest that you stop. This is pretty graphic. It's gross. Here we go.
I went in my trailer and I went in the bathroom and there was a huge turd in my toilet. And I was like, I felt so disrespected because I thought, oh man, I know I'm not the star in this movie, but like who's coming? So I went around to all the huge grips. We were in the suburbs of Canada, these big guys. I said, hey, did one of you guys, let it loose in my trailer? And they said no. And I went up to Nolan on set too. I said, someone took it down my trailer. And he kind of pointed to Matthew, and I looked at Matthew. He had this devilish grin on his face, like, right now, man. And I said, why'd you do that, man? He said, it's in Texas, coming of age, baby. He's like,
souvenir.
A little souvenir. That's a true story, though.
I don't think that's funny. I think it's disgusting. And I love how, too, like, there's, like, Timmy's got this way of speaking. Like, he's trying to sound cool, and, like, he's got some swag, and is like, he doesn't really fully enunciate, I guess. And then he's talking about like Nolan, like they're so cool. They just call each other by their surnames. Not that like Christopher Nolan is, an iconic director worthy of more respect than that. Timothée was like, had barely begun making his name in film. But anyway, it's Nolan. And it's like, and the idea that like a crew member would go into a trailer belonging to talent and take a dump in there and not think they would get fired for that it wouldn't be laughed off as a prank pulled by their A-list leading man. You know, again, that goes to sort of the level of classism. And this is why Hollywood is dying. Nobody on the planet relates to stories like these. Now, Timothée Chalamet and Christopher Nolan then did a Q&A. They did a Q&A, before the McConaughey town hall. This was done on February 10th, 2026 at the AMC Universal City Walk in LA. The audio's bad, so I'm not going to play it. But in sum and substance, Christopher Nolan talked to Shyamalama Ding Dong about an interstellar scene in which Nolan was, I'm saying this as a certain, because like I'm shortening it now just for expediency, not because I'm being like, Timothée, slinging my bullshit, whatever. He's not cool. He tries to be cool. He's not cool. Anyway, Christopher Nolan was telling Shyamalama Ding Dong, here's how I want you to do this scene. And he wouldn't do the scene the way in which he was directed. And Nolan kept telling him, I want you to do it this way. And he wouldn't do it. And the takeaway, the pull quote from Christopher Nolan to Shyamalama Ding Dong is, you went ahead and did whatever the fuck you wanted. And I don't think that's charming. And I wonder if Christopher Nolan got roped into doing this, because he's an unlikable person. Now, I do think that there is a melding here between Shyamalama Ding Dong's persona and the titular character he plays in Marty Supreme. The character is always at 11. That's my sort of Spinal Tap metric, where they say like, they're asked like how loud they like to play live. And one of them goes, I forget whether it was Christopher Guest or Michael McKean, but they say, oh, we put the amp up to 11. And Rob Reiner goes, the amps only go up to 10. And they're like, yeah, we put it up to 11. Marty is always at an 11, just like Timothée. We're always at an 11. And it's a lot of energy coming at you, just like unrelenting. Like the movie never really takes a dip. And the guy is completely unlikable. Now I'm going to tell you, we're going to show two of what I think are some of the darkest scenes in a very dark movie about a malignant narcissist whose only goal is to become the ping pong champion of the world. Who can't relate? A real Rocky story, you know what I mean? Lacking the depth and the nuance. This is really actually such a travesty because Sylvester Stallone really, I think, never, ever gets the full credit he should have gotten for Rocky. Like that movie is both a piece of true pop culture, but it's also a work of art. It really is. But because it appeals to the masses, it never really gets elevated the way that it should. But Marty Supreme's getting elevated because the Safdie brothers did it. Oh, sorry. The Safdie brothers have split up. We're getting to it. Josh Safdie did this movie. Timothée, you know what I mean? It's just like a whole thing. It's just gussied up in ribbons and bows. And it's a garbage movie about garbage people. Now, at one point in the movie, the Marty character is responsible for a dog not belonging to him either getting blown up in a very violent, there's only one way to get blown up, but we're talking like spraying gasoline around, in the film, it cuts to a scene of the dog like sort of running away, but it almost looks like a celestial, heavenly kind of backdrop. And so I'm reading that as the director saying to me, viewer, you can read this as one of two outcomes. The dog died, which is the legitimate, logical one, or the dog somehow disappeared. Whatever will sit best with you. These are dark hearts at work, dark minds, dark hearts. And then anyway, Marty and his pregnant married girlfriend, by the way, who he's refusing to believe that the baby is his, in other very disgusting ways, they are attempting to rip off the dead dog's owner and get some reward money, full well knowing that they're lying to this person. Here we go.
I know it's really not your problem, but I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah.
And look, I got no husband right now. I got no job, and this money would really, really help me. And, let's be good people.
You realize I got that dog for free at the pound, right?
Well, that's kind of the wrong way to look at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
How am I supposed to look at it?
Yeah, because let's just say that I'm not calling about a dog. Let's say that I'm calling about your mother. And I'm a doctor and I got to perform emergency surgery on her. She's going to die. What are you going to do? Refuse the surgery because you got your mother for free? No, that's crazy. You're going to take the surgery because you love your mother.
Thing I ever heard.
Well, then I guess you don't know anything about love.
All right, forget it. Give me your address, okay? Come now. I bring you the cash.
I'm sorry, but no.
No?
No, it's really not your fault, and you sound like a very nice person. It's just I've been ripped off one too many times in the past, and I'm just not willing to let that happen to me again. So we're just going to need to find a way to get me the money first. You know?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Listen to me, you
The
fucking
worst
dumb bitch.
scam artist
What is wrong
ever.
with you? Do you really? I'm trying. Hey, okay, fine. Well, then if you really don't give a shit about your dog that you got for free, how about I donate him to medical science? Would that be something you wanted?
It's
I should have known
disgusting.
better. What am I doing?
Marty!
That was a terrible idea. That was moronic.
I'm sorry. I was trying to give it a shot.
That's not your fault. It was stupid.
All right, calm down. What color is the dog?
Why? Who cares? It's brown.
Okay, because my boss knows all of the local breeders, and maybe we can get one that looks the same, and the owner won't be able to tell the difference.
You don't think he's gonna recognize his own dog that he loves?
But I'm saying maybe not at
I'm
first.
working on my game right now instead of I'm in a used car lot making a mockery of my life, doing prank calls.
That's Marty Supreme in a nutshell. Truly. What kind of dog is it? It's brown. I can find another dog. You know, and not for nothing, the strain of misogyny, it's strong. I was speaking a bit over that clip, but the dog owners calls the girlfriend on the phone, you dumb bitch. There's a scene in which it looks like the girlfriend's husband smacks her around. Marty just completely, everyone and everything in his life, but women especially, are just at best a distraction as he rises through the ranks of international table tennis. Now, there's a sex scene in this movie that I found extremely disturbing, involving Timothée and Gwyneth Paltrow, and not just because of the obvious age difference. And if the reports are true, it was Julia Roberts who was offered the Gwyneth role first. And at one point, they were like, listen, we will give you $20 million if you just do this small role, which is going to require maybe 5 to 10 days worth of work. And Julia Roberts said, no, I'm not doing it. You know why? I'm going to look like I'm molesting a child. Timothée looks like he's 12. It's creepy. It's creepy for that reason. But I'm not going to tell you what goes on in this sex scene. We'll watch it together. This is graphic, by the way. So if you've got kids around, like, no. This is graphic. And I cannot believe I can't believe nobody else is talking about this. Again, this is why the nerve exists. Here we go.
I'm sorry. Ms. Stone wanted to let you know that she'd love to have lunch with you.
Miss Stone?
That's Gwyneth.
Yes.
Smash cut to them having sex in the shower. Timothée is behind her. He's got his hand wrapped around her neck, choking her, and also removing her diamond necklace, which he's going to retrieve later from the drain. But he's got his hand around her neck, and she looks like she is in ecstasy.
I mean, why did you even stop
Okay,
in the
that's
first
enough.
place?
That's enough. I don't even want to see any more. This is what porn has done to young men. They think that this is what women want. They think this is hot. They think this is sexy. They think this is powerful. Never let a man put his hands around your neck, no matter what. This is disgusting. But hey, let's listen to Timothée talk about the work he's putting out, because we can never get enough of it. Here we go.
With you about this role?
The assertiveness, the confidence, the sometimes you got to call things as it is, as they are, and not tiptoe. Especially as you get older. I'm about to be 30. I want to look back on my interviews when I'm fried and mentally anguished in my 60s, and look back at my interviews in my late 20s and go, man, I was really speaking the truth and not afraid of the truth.
Just get
Well,
to
may
it,
you
Tim.
always
That
speak
said,
truth.
like, this is probably my best performance, you know?
Well-
And that it's been like 7-8 years that I feel like I've been handing in really, really committed, top of the line performances. And it's important to say it out loud because the discipline and the work ethic I'm bringing to these things, I don't want people to take for granted. I don't want to take for granted. This is really some top level shit.
Look at that smirk on his face. This is really some top level shit. I can't wait to see that smirk get wiped off his fucking face at the Oscars. God, if the nerve is moving as quickly as we want it to, Timothée will be denied. When your company is growing fast, order fulfillment can make or break your success. ShipStation can change everything. Their intelligence-driven platform puts order management, rate shopping, inventory, returns, warehouse tools, and analytics all in one place, saving customers an average of 15 hours a week. You can connect to over 200 sales channels with one streamlined dashboard. ShipStation compares rates across USPS, UPS, and FedEx to find the best option on every order with savings of up to 90% off. Bring your existing rates, add ShipStation's automations, let the system choose the carrier, find the rate, print the labels in bulk, and send tracking updates. Their tracking and return tools reduce customer service inquiries and give you the insights needed to optimize your operation. It's no wonder that over 1 million businesses trust ShipStation. Try ShipStation free for 60 days with full access to all features. No credit card needed. Go to ShipStation.com. Use code Maureen for 60 days for free. 60 days gives you plenty of time to see exactly how much time and money you are saving on every shipment. That's ShipStation.com. Code Maureen. ShipStation.com. Code Maureen.